Sidmilly Filate. Hey guys, welcome back to the Reed Homestead and happy St. Patrick's Day. Today we are doing a traditional boiled dinner featuring, of course, corned beef. You got a little garlic, carrot, cabbage, potatoes. I do have some bacon because in Ireland they don't really use corned beef. That's strictly an American Irish thing. We're from New York, so you know there are more Irish people in New York than all of Massachusetts and Ireland combined. So this is what we grew up with: corned beef, potatoes, of course your carrots. You got some garlic. Wife is not, my Ukrainian American wife, is not a very big fan of corned beef, so I did get her some Polska sausage, some smoked sausage, and a little tip to the hat. We're gonna add some bacon into that. So what we're gonna do is pot of water to a boil. It's a medium boil. I'm going to leave the skin on the potatoes, okay? Because our good friend Jamie says, leave the skin on the potatoes. Extra fiber is good for you. So we leave the skin on, but we're going to wash these potatoes up. We're going to wash the carrots, removing any hormones or any spray. We're going to wash up the cabbage. Start dicing this stuff up, chopping it up, and adding it to the water. The corned beef, I always start in the oven. So I'm going to slather this with a little mustard, then put our seed on there, throw it in the oven at low heat, 315, just to get it started. Eventually it'll find its way into this boiling pot. So this is the way we grew up with boiled dinners. We wouldn't just do them on St. Patrick's Day. This used to be in our parents' house. It's this Irish way. It's got the fighting Irish leprechaun in there. There's our hat. This is here year-round. It's a welcome sign to the kitchen. So anyhow, let's get back to all the magnets and stuff on the fridge. Everyone in America's got that. Let's get back to preparing this and getting our boil on. Be right back. Okay, so when I choose the potatoes that I'm going to use in the boil, I always save the bigger ones because the kids really like baked potatoes. So those are good baking potatoes. Okay. And then I'll use the smaller ones in the boil. That's a baking potato. That's a baking potato. That's a baking potato. So let's see, let's take the smaller one here. So we've got, usually it's 1 to 2 potatoes per individual that you're feeding. So we've got Pat, Sarah, Natalia, and I. We're gonna have 2 extras. So we'll put these ones back and use those for baking potatoes. And I've actually got a couple of more from the pantry. That's a baking potato. Where's my other bag? Right here. So we'll pick out just a couple more because I know we're going to have leftovers, and I'll eat this through the week pretty much. And there's a small one. So there's 7, and then we're going to do another. Here we go. 8. Okay. So, what we're going to do, wash these potatoes off with a little vinegar water mixture, removing any spray. and treatments that keep these eyes from forming in the grocery store. So all your fruits and veggies should get a vinegar water bath and wash them off. So let's do that right now. Stand by. All right, so we got the potatoes done. And you're gonna want a sharp knife. You can get these pretty much anywhere. They're really good for sharpening your knives and stuff like that. I use it on my axe. It works. So you're going to want a sharp knife. Now I'm just going to cut these potatoes into like thirds. You want the potatoes and the carrots at about the same size. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. You want them at about the same size so they cook at the same time. Okay, so you don't want them to come out completely mushy. So just, right in thirds. If you get a big meaty one, you can always cut that down the middle. That's not going to hurt anything. Into fourths. Okay, so we're just giving these a rough chop. Okay, throw them in. That one we're just going to leave. That's small enough. Don't have to quarter it. This one, a little big. So we're going to quarter that. Okay. Now, we are going to salt this water. I use Himalayan sea salt. So, got that. All those good minerals in there. Okay, good. So let's wash up some carrots. Same process. The key to this with the potatoes and the carrots, you want the carrots beefy enough that they're not going to cook before the potatoes. You want these finished at about the same time. One sec, be right back. There's Bo, getting all excited for dinner. Come on, buddy, move. So, I'm sure you've seen these. These actually make really good vegetable cleaning utensils. You've seen these at Trader Joe's, Harris Teeter's. I think I've even seen them at Walmart. But it's kind of like a rough pan cleaning thing. I use those on potatoes and carrots. Then you don't have to skin the carrots because this will take that outer layer right off. Okay. What I do is take the tips off. Okay. Don't really need those, especially the skinny ones. Okay. Just, I think we'll, like so. Okay. I always save the roots too and throw them in the soil because they will regrow. So we're just going to line these up, keeping in mind that our potatoes are going to cook at the same rate. Make the first cuts kind of longer. Okay. Those are eventually going to break down. So second, and each layer of carrot is going to get shorter and shorter, but initially you want them a little longer so they cook at the same rate as a potato. Okay. All right. So you get down towards the end, they get beefier and thicker. Then you can get shorter with your cut. Okay. Sarah, how you doing, baby?
Good.
Okay.
I'm on episode 18.
That's a little long. Now, what I do with these, the roots, just throw them in a plastic bag. Put a napkin or a paper towel underneath them, soak it, put them on the windowsill, and you'll notice the stalks start to regrow. I've done this for years. It works. You start regrowing right here, especially when you wash your veg. They start regrowing, throw them in the soil. Loosen that soil up, throw them right in there, okay? It does work. No. All about the same height. Okay. Take those, throw them in. Okay. Now we're going to get a little Himalayan sea salt. Get this in there. Start seasoning that water. And a good trick, you could use whatever you want, but chicken broth, just, you know, do a handful. Same thing as salting that water. Okay, so you're flavoring, you're almost making a soup at this point. Okay, so let's get our cabbage done. Let me just mix that up. Okay. Now, so what we have is about, tablespoon and a half of the Himalayan and about 2 tablespoons of chicken stock. All right. Let's get the cabbage ready. 1 sec. Well, basically, you're going to do the same thing with cabbage. You want probably 4 parts water, 1 part vinegar, and that'll remove any hormone or spray. I do this with all the veggies. So you can grow garlic this way. You know, you get a clove of garlic. Oh, let's see. You get a clove of garlic. So you want to take these apart, right? Leave the skin on, and just make sure you wash that with vinegar water, okay? See that right there? Now, wash this with vinegar water, soak it for a little bit, wash it real good. Same thing, windowsill, plastic bag, little paper towel underneath it, damp paper towel. These roots will start growing out of here, out of the bottom, throw them in the soil. So I've been planting garlic like that for a couple years. So make sure to wash your veg, remove any hormones. Then you can regrow them, but you obviously don't want that stuff in your body. So 1 sec, be right back. So the cabbage is going to cook a little faster than the carrot and potato. So I think what we'll do, just wash that off. I think what we're going to do, save these. I did a little plastic bag. Okay. I'll actually put this together so you can see what I do. And this is just kind of a hobby, really. You know, you could compost them or whatever, but if you can find extra benefit, they're not going to get as big as they were. They might get as half as big as what you bought in the package. So just line them up like so, right? Get the taller ends on the ends there. Okay, taller ones on the ends. There you go. Okay, so just a plastic bag. Slip them right in. Doesn't have to, you can always adjust it when you get them in there. Matter of fact, let's put the paper bag or the paper towel in first. It's just damp, normal water. We're in a well, so don't have to worry about any weird chemicals being or detracting from this process. And what you're doing is giving this kind of like a little steam. It'll help it to start regrowing. You just put it right on the windowsill. And before you know it, in a week or so, week and a half, all these stalks will start growing out of the tops. And then when that happens, go loosen up some soil and plant them. It's that easy. Not very difficult. So let's get that on there. We're gonna wait for that. We're gonna prepare the corned beef. Okay. So this is just store-bought Grobbles corned beef. Let's see, 3.86, not that that matters. We're gonna get this ready. Be right back. Now, I am gonna rinse that corned beef off. It's been inside of that package for a long time. Just rinse it off. No big deal. It likes the moisture, trust me. And then I'm gonna take a paper towel or two and just pat it down. Okay? Yep. It's basically a tri-tip. So if you're into barbecuing, I'm sure you've heard of briskets, right? Well, that's what this is. A lot of fat content. Yeah, it's kosher, so got a lot of fat content on it. Look at all that. Okay. And a lot of marbling in here. I'm not going to remove any of it. Okay. So let's get another couple paper towels here and just keep that clean. Okay. Just pat it down a little bit. Now, at this point, you could just season this up and start it off in your oven. Okay. I know not a lot of people do it this way. Most people would just start adding this right into their boiled pot. That's why it's called a boiled dinner. But I like my corned beef to have a little crust. So I do use just a little mustard. Okay. That'll help anything that I top this with, seasoning wise. That'll help it stick. Okay, so just rub it on in there. Easy to do. Oh yeah, that's looking good. I could do a corned beef sandwich right now. Okay, just rub it in. You're not going to do the bottom side because that's all fat. It's just going to cook off. Okay, so you're going to do the sides. You're going to do the top. There you go. Okay, now wash up. You never want to cross-contaminate. Get that out. Wash your old hands. This stuff is awesome, by the way. You can get that at, I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond. But it's just foaming soap. Ready to go. So, we have some mustard seed in this little packet. And we're going to go ahead and find the scissors. Okay. First, what I like to do, just to add a little more flavor, I'm going to get a little garlic salt on there. That's going to draw up any moistures from within the brisket. Little onion powder. Yeah. Little onion. There you go. Okay. Salt. A little more. I like that Himalayan. That'll give that crusty top that I really like. That's why I put it in the oven first, so it gets that crust. And then, finally, we'll do some mustard seed. Let's get some scissors and just right like so. That's got other seasonings in there, but pickling seasons and stuff. But basically, it's just mustard seed, you know. Okay, just throw it on in. Yeah. Now, I've got my oven preheated. It's at 315. Okay, just get it on there. It'll stick. That's why you use the mustard. Also, mustard has a little vinegar in it, so that'll help with the fat, rendering that fat. Okay. So, what we'll do is I have a air fryer upstairs, one of the Ninja ones, and it comes with these. Well, I guess I could just use that. It comes with these. Yeah, that'll work. Now, yeah, that'll work. Well, is that gonna fit lengthwise? Could just use that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. One sec. Let me get an oven holder. All right. The camera's kind of, this tripod. I've had better tripods. Let's just put it that way. Now, I did leave a baking sheet in there. I was going to just throw it on that, but boom. Right like so, okay? Now, we're just going to throw this in. It's at 315. 315. We're going to throw that in for about an hour, hour and a half. Turn this down. We'll start the cabbage in about a half an hour. Let these continue to boil. I'll give you a quick look. See what we got going on here. Okay. So you got your carrots and your potatoes in there. We're gonna chop up some cabbage here in about a half an hour or so as our corned beef is in the oven developing a crust. So we'll be right back. Yeah, so the oven holder is actually my wife's. It used to be her mother's, who I guess crocheted this back in the 80s. You know, they are Ukrainian, so watermelons are important, especially Kherson. So we save that for special occasions. Okay. So, a little antibacteria wipe for the cutting board. And now it's just a waiting game for about the next hour. So we'll be right back when we're ready to add some cabbage to this boil. This is when traditionally you would do your step 2 spirit. So, cheers from our house to yours. Oh yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope everyone's having a great day. Sidmali Falate Slant. Sentinel Leaf Latte means 1,000 welcomes, and Slaint means good health in Gaelic. Yes, there is actually an Irish language, Gaelic. So you could look up some of that stuff. It's on, I think Google Translate might have some of that old language. But New Yorkers, we used to have, everyone celebrated St. Patrick's Day in New York. Very few. I mean, there are pockets down here in the South, but Savannah, for example, is a good one. You see a few people wearing green today. Always good. Have a little green on. Okay. So, put this right over here. All right. Right here, got the green. So, I'm gonna enjoy brewski and wait for that corned beef. Hope everyone's having a great St. Patrick's Day. Be right back. So, did want to show you what we got going on here. I did root. These are prunings from rosebush. You just crush up the base of your clippings and they will form new roots, and you could grow a new garden. Blueberries are budding up. I showed you a little about pruning in one of our previous videos. You can check that out, but here. So these are the pears from the prunings that I did. These are the clippings. You can see they're growing new roots, new leaves. The buds are coming up. The tall one is taking a little longer. Here, there you can see that. It's taking a little longer because it's so tall for the water to get up there, but you can see new growth, new leaves, just from clippings. So, new pear trees. Be right back. Okay, so thank God for my daughter, Sarah. She knows how to, she does a lot of cap cut stuff and whatnot. We're gonna just take those outside layers off the cabbage as an extra level of protection from any spray. See these roots? We're going to take advantage of those and grow an extra cabbage in the garden. So, Sarah will be able to edit this video so I don't have to do 2 uploads. I don't do a whole lot of editing, so Sarah's a pro at it. She'll get it done. Okay. Be right back. Okay, so one of my most used knives is a Mora knife with a Scandi grind, Morris Kohansky. So, yeah, these are only like, you can get them for 10 to 15 bucks. So what I'm going to do here is just take this core, okay, kind of want to get that at an angle going into the center, okay, and you're going to core the inside of that cabbage, okay, and again, plastic bag, little paper towel. You're going to root this, throw it in the soil. Okay, so how much cabbage do we need? Well, we're going to go right down the middle. Okay, you can see this vein right here. Okay, that's going to be my starting point. So right down the middle. Okay, boom. Now, okay, I'm going to save, yeah, I'm going to save that one for future recipe. Just like so, and then again, just in thirds. Okay, and you're just going to throw this right in. Okay, it's almost like a salad wedge. Throw them right in. Don't even worry about it. It's going to taste great. And it's not filling. Tastes great. Less filling. Okay, so I did bump that oven up a little bit to 350 just to get it going a little quicker. This pot is starting to fill up. So I got a bigger one. We'll do a transfer into a bigger pot. Okay, let's just get in there. Throw it right in. Yeah. Okay. We're also going to mince up a little garlic. If you stay tuned for the next video, I'll show you what we got as far as store-bought garlic that you can grow right at your place, whether a container or some soil. Very easy to do. The key is just to use a little vinegar water, especially on that core at the bottom. Remove any of the anti-growth hormones that these companies spray on their veggies so their veggies don't grow in the store. No one wants to see a bunch of vegetables with roots and leaves and all that, I guess. It doesn't bother me, but so they treat your fruits and veggies with hormones, anti-growth hormones. So not like human growth hormones. These things basically stop the fruit and veggie from growing. That was a pretty big garlic clove, so just throw it in. Right in. Alright, one sec. Be right back. So we have a bigger pot right here. Okay. And we're just going to dump this right in. Okay. Right in there. Yeah. Okay. Now you're going to have room for the rest of the ingredients. And give this boiled dinner a little extra room to get to know each other. Okay? There we go. Well, here's what we're looking like. Okay? That's what you got. Needs more of that chicken stock. Oh, you could just do a taste test. It's not that hard. Another handful. Okay? All right. There we go. Get it in there. Okay. Cabbage is floating to the top. Another lid. Put the fan on. We'll be right back. Okay, so little hat tip to our friend John, who did a video on Wegmans. These are great. Weggies is down here in North Carolina. They announced that their last store for North Carolina was going to be right where we are So we're definitely looking forward to that. Wegmans is a great store. Throw that in the fridge. So our good friend John did a video on traditional Irish coddle. And in Ireland, of course, they use bacon. So it doesn't matter, you know, get you some thick cut bacon. And we'll throw it right in. As a hat tip to John. I know Dave and Sean are watching. How you guys doing? Yeah, so we are initially from New York. As I said, New York has more Irish people than all of Massachusetts and Ireland combined. It's basically the capital for Irish people around the world. New York is. That's not just downstate New York. When I say New York, we didn't live in the city. Just throw it in. Separate it. Throw it in. If you're worried about the fat, well, what do you think corned beef is? It's a lot of fat, so that just adds to the flavor. Get that nice buttery, velvety taste in your London broil or your Irish broiled dinner. Okay, throw it in. Don't worry. It's all good. Oh, why don't you just fry the bacon? You know, when I make corned beef sandwiches, I will use bacon on it. But for this purpose, just doing a boiled dinner, just throw it in. Some of this corned beef is going to be saved for corned beef sandwiches. That's why I want that crust on there. Okay? Doing good. So at the end, what I'm going to do while this is almost done cooking, the corned beef, I'm going to put it on broil at about 390, 385, just to get that top nice and dark. And I am going to save, like I said, some of it for sandwiches. So I'm going to get that top done, take about half of it and slice it down for the boiled dinner. The other half I'm going to wrap, put it back in the oven on low heat, and let it finish, and that'll be for sandwiches. Be right back. So there's Pat in his St. Patrick's Day get up. The thumbnail video that we're going to use will be the final product. I'm not going to sit here and eat dinner in front of you, but I still have a lot to do. We got to bring in the reapers, trying to get those to, they kind of stalled out during the winter in the garage under the grow lights. Still green, so I'm trying to see if these are going to sprout some leaves. Hopefully they will. Peach one's pretty much dead, but I'm going to drag this back in, put it under some grow lights, and hope for the best. I've got some peppers, some seeding done. You want to see an example of the garlic garden. All this was just store-bought garlic. You could see how beefy it is. See, I got carrots in there, garlic. There's a couple elephant garlics in there. That mess is going to be removed this year, so that'll be good. And then we've got some more clippings rooting over here, rose bushes. That's a new blackberry bush. Over here, we've also got a fig going. These are the clippings that I did on the pruning video and how to root your clippings. You can see, still doing good. I threw them in compost. We got some leaves, some buds, some flowers. So, adding to the orchard. Anyhow, that's all for now. Be right back. Okay, so I'm going to bump this up. It's doing well. I'm going to turn the convection off. Bump it to 385 broil. The minimum is 400. So we're just going to get the top of that nice and crispy, just like bacon. We're going to flip it and get that fatty side so that we're going to flip it and then get the fatty side. So here, so you can take a look. Okay. There she is. That's doing well. We're going to broil that top so it gets nice and dark and then flip it and get that fatty side so you get that bacon effect. And then we'll pull it, slice it up, throw some in the Irish boiled dinner, and then save the rest for sandwiches. One sec, be right back. So as you're doing this, you really, especially if you're going to broil it at the end, you don't want to walk away from it because you risk burning the top. You don't want to burn it, you just want to crisp it. Okay, so I'll show you real quick. It smells so good. Oh, so I get that. Bring that up a little bit. Okay. Give it a stir. You don't want anything on the bottom of the pot. Okay. There we go. Looking good. Okay. All right, be right back. So yeah, you could flavor this to taste. If you want to throw an onion in there, you could throw an onion. If you want to throw some leeks in there, that's a traditional Irish vegetable. Does very good in Ireland. Struggles a little heat down here with the heat, but you could definitely grow that through the season. Got to use a lot of mulch on it in the dead of summer where it gets boiling hot. But it does well in the fall, spring. I've got some out in the garden growing. So anyhow, you could do this to taste. Add some onion. This is just how our family did it. It was basically just potatoes, carrots, cabbage, and then corned beef. You'd flavor it with a little chicken stock, some garlic. I did some onion powder in there. So you could do some garlic powder in there. However you like it. Make it your own. So we'll be right back as we're gonna flip this corned beef in a little bit. I wanted to call it a brisket because that's what it is. It's a brisket. But let me get the dogs out of the way here. Hi, Bo. So anyhow, you don't want to walk away. Hi, Bo. Hi. How you doing? Oh, daddy. Okay. So anyhow, we'll be right back with another step 2. So the broil isn't going quite as fast as I'd like. So I bumped the broil up to 425. That's 425. So started off at 315, then bumped it to 350. And then at the end of the process, I want to get that crisp on top. Bump it to broil 425. So from 315 to 425. All right, be right back. So as our good friend Jean-Pierre says, clean as you cook. That way you don't have a big mess to clean up at the end. I've already got my initial pot cleaned out, put away, dried. Just clean as you cook. That way it makes it easy at the end. All right. There's Bo. Hi, Bo. Bo. Hi. How you doing? Big boy. He's only 8 months old. Weighs 80 pounds. so you can hear that sizzle. We're getting that crust. So, almost ready. We're going to flip it in a little bit and get that fat side to crisp up a little too. Hi, Bo. Hi. All right, be right back. All right, so we're going to go ahead and flip this. My brothers and sisters will recognize that. That's my parents' old pitchfork, I used to call it. Just hold that out a little bit. Let it crisp up a little more. I'm going to turn that. Let me get a oven mitt. Slava Ukraine and all that. Just kind of gently turn that. It's getting the backside pretty good. Don't know why, but okay. Anyhow, I'm gonna let that crisp up a little more, and then we'll flip it. Okay, that's ready to flip. So, take a little pitchfork. Crisping up. Oh, that smells so good. Okay. And we're just gonna boom, like so. You want to stay on there. Carefully. Boom. Just like that. Let's see. Let's get a potato. Hang on one sec. Easily solved. Just get a small potato. Over the shrimps. Okay, there we go. What we're going to do is just wedge that. Right, like so. Boom. Perfecto. See? Yeah. Let that crisp up a little bit. And we'll be right back. So you can see that top is sizzling, right? It smells so good. So that's bacon right there. Beef brisket bacon. Corned beef bacon. Be right back. All right, so if you were just doing a regular, oh, Bo is drooling. Look at him. Hanging out right by the oven. It smells great, doesn't it, Bo? You got a little drool right there. Okay, whatever. So if you're just doing a normal brisket or even a corned beef, I would do this at 300 for like 2 hours. Same kind of seasoning process. A little mustard, whatever flavors you like on top. Do it at like 300 for a couple hours and then wrap it, you know, for another hour and a half or two. And that's where you get that very tender brisket, okay? When done in an oven. That's how you would do it. With this, I just want to get this started. Get it a little crisped up so I can have half for sandwiches. The rest is going to cook right in the boiled dinner. So let's go ahead and get our... Oh, you're going to have to move, bud. He's hanging out right below the oven. Okay, you got to see this. Life of a Roddy. Pretty good, huh? Smell good, Bo? You gonna take a nap? You want to take it? Are you hungry? Drooling. You hungry? Yeah? So, anyhow, we're going to take this out. We're going to cut slices for the boiled dinner. It's going to finish cooking in the boil. And then, let's see, I'm just going to get my pitchfork. Get right in there. Not worried about that potato. Okay, so we got a nice crispy skin. I'll take that potato out. Ooh, boy Nelly, that's hot. Hot potato, hot potato. Just, whatever. My daughter likes baked potatoes, so I guess we could save that. And then what we're gonna do is just cut slices, you know, and throw that right into the pot. And that's gonna, an explosion of flavor is gonna come right into that boiled dinner. Here, I'll give you a look so you can see this a little better. Okay. Let me see if I can. It's just me. Bo, you're kind of in the way there, bud. So you can see all those juices are sealed in. Look at it. When you do this, you want a cutting board that has trenches going around, because that fat will just, those juices will just get caught right in those trenches instead of spilling all over your countertop. Okay, so just like I said, you use about half. Wife's not a big fan of corned beef. She does like brisket. She's not a fan of the kosher seasoning, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. This is the way it's done. Okay, so now we're gonna take this. If Bo, just stay in the way. Maybe if I tell him to just stay in the way, he'll actually move. Okay. Put that back. And just take, oh, that's hot. Just take those, throw them right in. That's where they're gonna finish cooking, okay? This process was just to get the crispy skin for some corned beef sandwiches, okay? Throw it right in. Look at all the juice just coming right off of this. Perfect. Okay. Bo's freaking out. Okay. So, give it a stir. Put that corned beef down there. All the fat and juices and flavoring from the corned beef into this boiled dinner. Here, give you a look. There we have it, okay? Now, the rest, what I'm gonna do here is just take the rest of this heavy duty aluminum foil, I'm just gonna, you know what? I do want some of those juices in there. Well, there's gonna be enough juice coming off this. So, oh, you're in the way, bud. So, just, yeah, let's go this way. Right here. Yeah. Get it airtight. Okay. Fold. Seal. Same thing over here. Fold. Seal. Okay. Now, oh, you're still in the way there, bud. Okay, let's, oh, that's smelling like bacon like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so let's remove this guy. Let's get rid of him. some flavoring at the end. Put it right underneath in case some of that fat drips out. It'll get caught in that pan, a drip pan. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cover this, rinse that off, and just give it a cockeyed cover. Turn the fan on, let it go for, you know, another half hour or so. Be right back. So we're just gonna rinse that off. A little soap on there. Clean as you cook. Okay? Now, like I said, the wife is not a big fan of corned beef. I guess it's kind of an acquired taste. So, I got some Polska kielbasa. Our Polish friends knew what they were doing when they made this. So, what I'm going to do here, again, more flavor for the boiled dinner. Just cut it. I usually cut mine at an angle, like so. Okay. Boom. Throw it in. Okay. Yeah. Sizzle, sizzle. Okay. Now, at this point, it's no longer a traditional Irish London broil, but basically the same flavors. So here's what you got. You got some bacon right here, corned beef, Polska kielbasa, you know, then all your veggies, your potatoes, carrots, cabbage, all in there. Little chicken stock, it's gonna be good. Be right back. So remember, after you put the brisket back in, or the corned beef back in, you want to bring that temp down. So again, it was at 425. Now we're going to bring it down a little bit. Get back down to like 275. Okay, and you're going to just leave it in there for about another hour and a half. Okay, until that turns really tender. The rest of it's going to finish cooking, wafting up the whole house with this. Okay, in the London or the Irish boil dinner. So, but as far as the brisket goes, you want that tender. Wrap it, leave it in there for another hour and a half or two at very low heat, and that'll come out juicy, juicy. Be right back. So I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention St. Patrick on St. Patrick's Day. As many of you know, he was the son of Italian nobility stationed in part of England back in the 300s. Many would call him the first documented slave in history, which is true. So he was kidnapped by slave traders and sent to Ireland. He was enslaved, forced labor and all that stuff. And his master was well read and versed, became aware of Christianity, and basically freed him. He earned his freedom. What St. Patrick did is he returned to England and started studying Catholicism, traditional Christianity, and he was sent to Italy, where they made him a bishop. Eventually he was a priest, and eventually they made him a bishop, and he requested a return to Ireland. Ireland at the time was a pagan country, so as we know, man is not God. You should never trust that much in a human being. And certainly the elements are not God. That's part of creation. When we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, God said man will labor and toil amongst the twigs and the thistle for his bread. So man was meant to labor, to grow food. Women were going to, feel the pains of labor and childbirth. So, as we know, the elements are not God or godly. Everything changed after the Garden of Eden. Man is not God, though many are godly. St. Patrick took the shamrock, and used that to denote the triune God, meaning God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. Triune God, it also mentions it in in Genesis. We made God in our image, the triune God. It's plural. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Okay. So Patrick returned to Ireland, started teaching traditional Christianity, and converted the entire country. Basically, the myth part of it is, he drove all the snakes out of Ireland. Well, really, the snakes being pagans, right? You see a rise in that in modern day society today. People worshiping elements and plants and stuff like that. If you've ever farmed or grown or had to battle against nature, you understand that it is a battle between man and nature when it comes down to it. Much like Genesis says, we have to labor against nature. It's not our friend. So St. Patrick converted the country to Catholicism. Now you see him turning away from that. It's a little distressing, but that's our rendition of St. Patrick. He was not a pushover, and he wasn't very, he would set fire to pagan idols on top of mountains. He wasn't a pushover. He wasn't very friendly with pagans. Let's just put it that way. And eventually he became so notable, he wrote his Confessio, St. Patrick's Confessio. You could read it. I'm a sinner and all this, It's not very expensive literature. You can read it, though. It's written 300 AD. That's our lineage. That's our heritage. So, this is what we do on St. Patrick's Day to honor that. All right, be right back. All right, so it's been a couple hours. I'll show you how you plate this up. Just get you a shallow bowl. Okay. Start with a little corned beef. Oh, get those juices in there, baby. Okay. Get you a little potato. Some carrots. And you're going to get you some nice cauliflower. So winter veg cauliflower is, so you can grow plenty of it in the winter. Okay. All right. Now, this is traditional coddle. Okay? Or Irish boiled dinner. Okay? So, that's what it will look like. You can season it, salt, pepper, whatever you like. For my wife, what we do is just, kids like it. I mean, the kids will eat the, okay? So we'll get some of that for the width. We're going to pull up some of that Polska. Okay? A little more of that bacon. And that's what, if you're not a big fan of corned beef, you can use kielbasa or whatever else as a replacement. But that's it for a traditional Irish boiled dinner. Now, if I wanted to, we could just have that right back, let it cook a little more. There's the corned beef. There you have a little bacon. And that's it. The Irish American boiled dinner. Right here from the Reed Homestead. Hope you guys are having a great St. Patrick's Day. Until the next time, God bless. See ya.